Good morning. Welcome to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. For those of you who are experiencing our newly redesigned sanctuary for the first time this Sunday, welcome. It's so good to be together in this beautiful new space. We are a spiritually diverse, justice-seeking religious community proclaiming the power of love at the core of our living tradition. Love of neighbor, love for ourselves, and love for our planet. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whatever faiths you have known, if any, whatever doubts you carry, you are welcome here. Whomever you love, however you identify, you are welcome here. Everyone is welcome here. I'm the Reverend Sara LaWall. I use she, her pronouns. Today, I'm also joined by Gwyn Reid, who is serving as our celebrant, and we are blessed to have our extraordinary choir with us again today in a special supporting role, supporting one of our longtime accompanists, Sue Langley, in preparation for her senior recital celebrating the end of her music journey at BSU. That recital happens at 2 o'clock this afternoon, to which all of you are invited, and you'll get to hear a little preview of some of the music with our choir today during our service. The recital is here. The recital is here, correct. Let's take a moment to greet each other. Let's first turn to our Zoom family and cameras and wave at our friends who are joining us online this morning. Welcome, friends. We invite you to turn on your cameras if you're able so that we can welcome you into the space. Good morning, Helen and Edith and Jane. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Justin and Liz. It's so good to have you all with us this morning. Thank you for joining us, reminding us that we worship together beyond the walls of this sanctuary. And for those of us gathered here in person, let's take a moment to greet our neighbor. I invite you to turn to those who are seated next to you. Look for someone you don't know or don't know very well and introduce yourself. We hope you'll take time to reconnect with folks you've just met this morning during our hospitality time after the service. A special welcome to our newcomers, those of you who are joining us for the first or second time. We know it takes a lot of courage to check out a new community, and we're so grateful you've chosen us this morning. We invite you to introduce yourselves to us during our hospitality time after the service or in the chat, so we can warmly welcome you. We have some newcomer forms that we invite you to fill out. Those are in our entryways, and we'll post a link on the chat so that we can keep you posted with all that is happening here in our fellowship. And a reminder that our Inquirers series for newcomers continues today in the Channing Room in the South Wing. This is our series that introduces newcomers to Unitarian Universalism and to this fellowship, and today's session will cover UU history and our values. I have a few other announcements this morning. Our RE volunteer meeting today after services in the North Wing. So if you are volunteering for RE and you need a little orientation for how the program here is going to work, please join Travis in the North Wing after the service. Next Sunday, we are hosting a Connections Fair. We've done this several years now, where we invite all of our committees and small groups and teams out into the courtyard with tables so that folks can wander around and learn all the different ways that you can serve this fellowship, that you can connect and engage with each other in this congregation. It is a really fun afternoon. We invite you to join us for that. And on Monday, October 12th, we invite you to join us for Indigenous Peoples Day, featuring an evening with Louise Dixie, Cultural Resources Director at the Shoshone-Bannock Tribes of Fort Hall Reservation. This is Monday the 13th, 7 p.m. here in person and also on Zoom. Each week we begin our worship service by grounding ourselves and centering ourselves and lighting our flaming chalice, the symbol of our free faith, a beacon of hope, love, and justice. We light our chalice in solidarity with thousands of other Unitarian Universalists, lighting chalices today across the globe, reminding us that we are connected to a great community of faith and love. As we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you in our virtual community to light your chalice or a candle if you have one nearby, and then share with us in the chat where it is you have lit your chalice this morning. I invite us to rise in body or spirit together as we sing our gathering hymn this morning, hymn 123, in the gray hymnal, words also on our screens, Spirit of Life.
We come from and live on land considered sacred by many indigenous peoples, known as Bannock, Shoshone, Paiute, and many other tribes that lived here sustainably for thousands of years, inhabiting a vast region including much of Idaho.
We recognize the long history of the land, long before colonization, and acknowledge the ancient tribes whose names have been lost in history.
With this acknowledgement, we wish to demonstrate our commitment to dismantling the legacies of settler colonialism. We honor Indigenous peoples' connection to the land and support their right to sovereignty.
In the challenges of these truths, may we move through the world bringing justice in every way that we can, listening to the truths spoken to us by Native American peoples, making space for them to re-inhabit this place, and giving them back the resources they need to heal their communities.
Our spiritual theme for this new month of October is cultivating compassion. Today, our service explores the power and paradox of compassion as a grounding force that sustains us and helps us protect one another in the midst of battering storms, and as a challenge to the energy we give to it. As we enter into this time of worship, I invite us all to take a breath together. Fill your body with breath breathe, knowing our breath connects us to one another, to our bodies, to this planet. Our breath offers us an opportunity to tune in to our spiritual center, to listen deeply to our heart's own longing. Thou art the song of my heart in the morning. Thou art the dawn of truth in my soul. Thou art the dew of the roses adorning. Thou art the woven whole. Thine is the grace to be steadfast in danger. Thine is the peace that none can destroy. Thine is the face of the need-riven stranger. Thine are the wings of joy. Thou art the deep to the deep in me calling. Thou art a lamp where my feet shall tread. Thy way is steep past the peril of falling. Thou art my daily bread. Thine be the praise of my spirit uplifted. Thou art the sea to each flowing stream. Thine be the days that are gathered and sifted. Thou art the deathless dream.
Should be good.
May your light shine before you. May your love grow within you. May your spirit soar above you. And may you walk in peace. May your heart's dreams call you, and no harm befall you, and may grace enthrall you, and may you walk in peace.
Our call to worship this morning is from Kathleen McTeague. We come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope is hallowed by our presence together. Come, let us worship together.
First, I want to say, doesn't the choir sound extraordinary in this space? I mean, you always sounded extraordinary, but wow, does this space make you sound like even better. With the promise of our commitments to beloved community, to being a multi-generational community, a community of generosity and a community of care and connection, I'd like to invite our young people up for our time for all ages. Remember how last time you were up here? Come on up, friends. And we have a new tradition that we're going to do today. We want to start a new tradition in our new space and in this year where we want to focus on the future of this fellowship and this faith and making those multi-generational connections. So on the first Sunday of every month, we're going to do a birthday tradition. If you have a birthday in the month of October, would you raise your hand? Out there, okay. Birthday, young people, go, oh Mike, go run and give a high five to the birthday people. Hold your hands up, October birthdays. Young friends, can you go give a high five to the October birthdays? Go, high five, high five. And we are gonna sing together, happy birthday to all of our October birthdays. Hold your hands up, friends. Whenever you're ready. Oh, I understand. It's Sue Langley's birthday today. No, okay. Erroneous information. But we can pretend. All right, let's sing together to our October birthdays.
How's everybody doing? Let me see some thumbs. Yeah? Higher? Higher? Okay. So today, should I go down here? Maybe I'll come down here. What would be the best spot? How about if I come over here? Kind of like that before, so I can see you guys and you can also see up here. Oh. All right. So today, we are going to talk about a story about the rainbow crow. The rainbow crow. Okay, all right? Heard of it? Okay, well, coincidentally, I'm going to tell you about it. Okay. So, part one, the story of the rainbow crow. It's the long winter. And you can see all the slides. A long time ago, the world was different, so much different than right now. The sun shone and the weather was warm and the animals lived happily together. But one year, winter came. And it did not go away. At first, the animals thought it must be, a short storm. But the snow kept falling, and the winds kept blowing, and the animals began to suffer. Oh, I know, right? The deer shivered, and the bear's den grew icy, and the fox's paws were frozen. And the animals gathered in council and said, "We can't live like this. Cold, we must find a way to bring warmth back." Part 2, the brave volunteer. They decided someone should go journey up to the Creator, far above the clouds, to ask for help. But who could make such a journey? The strong bear was too heavy, and the fat deer could not reach that high, and the squirrel was too small. And finally, the beautiful rainbow crow stepped forward. Does that look like a crow that you've seen before? No. See, at this time, the crow had feathers of every color. Who here knows what a crow sounds like? Let's hear your crow. Let's hear all of your crows. Crow. Now we got a sense what we know what crow sounds like. But at that time, the crow's voice was the most beautiful songbird in the forest. Wonder what happened. The rainbow crow stepped up and said, "I will go to the Creator. The others cannot fly so far, but my wings are light, and I can use them to fly and ask for warmth." Part 3. The rainbow crow flew higher and higher and higher, up through the great clouds, through the icy winds, past the stump bars. But his wings grew tired, but he kept going because he thought of his friends below. And finally he reached the home of the Creator, and bowing low, Rainbow Crow said, "Oh, great Creator, the animals of the world are suffering. They're cold and hungry. Please have compassion. Please give us warmth." The Creator looked kindly on Rainbow Crow's request and says, "You ask not for yourself, but for all others. This is compassion. I'll give you what you ask. I will give you fire." The Creator pulled a branch from a burning fire and gave it to Rainbow Crow to carry back. Part 4, the sacrifice. Rainbow Crow gripped the branch in his beak and began his long-like poem, but the smoke and sparks scorched him. The flames burned away his rainbow feathers, turning them black and weighted with soot. His once sweet voice became hoarse and rasping. By the time Rainbow Crow returned to earth, his feathers were dark as night, and his voice was no longer sweet and beautiful. But he had brought them fire. Fire would warm the animals, melt the snow, and keep them alive through the storm. And the animals, they cheered, and they danced around the fire, and the Rainbow Crow gave up his beauty and his song so that we might live. His compassion saved us all. And from that day forward, Crow remained black and kind. But in the sunlight, I don't know if you've ever we have rainbows. These guys have been making bracelets, friendship bracelets. I don't know how many are in the basket. We've been working and working and working. I can't promise that we have one for everyone. If you don't get a friendship bracelet today, here's what I ask. Bring your friendship bracelet back to a service one day and give it to somebody else who does not have one. We'll keep passing the friendship bracelets between all of ourselves until the rubber string gives away. Yeah. All right, my friend, since you made them, I want you to go and hand them out. Go hand out bracelet. There you go. There you go. We're going to go hand out whoever you want. This is. You can throw them to people in the middle if you need to. That's fine. Yay. Here's a couple. Go give them away to people up here. Give them to people you don't know. That would be the best thing. Make a new friend. Hand out some bracelet to somebody new. Thank you. And then when you give them all out, come on back up. Go on. These are for these people. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Greta. All right, once you've given all your bracelets out, come on back. We're going to head out to Time for All Ages. I know, sometimes it's hard to choose. You got some work. Give away. That's your job. Yeah, everybody can help you give away.
I have one more.
Go give it away. Nice. You what now? Okay. All right. It's time for our community blessing, right? To become a community blessing. Let's all sing. The words are up on the screen here, and then after our song, we will head over to our religious exploration classes. I also invite anybody who is interested, that has been interested in helping out volunteering with Ari, to come with us today. This is our first session of the fall. We're going to create a covenant of how we're going to treat each other. We're going to create it together. Sounds cool.
The purpose of this fellowship is to encourage all who gather here to grow more generous in spirit and in action. This is the great end of all the world's faith traditions, to bring the human being closer to the divine by acts of creation and acts of compassion. We take up an offering each week to allow us to exercise that all-important generosity of spirit, an offering that will support this self-supporting fellowship and its many ministries, including the ministry of this month's plate partner, the Wasmuth Center for Human Rights. Here to share more about their mission and work in our community is their Executive Director, Christina Bruce Bennion.
Good morning. It's such an honor to be here, and I don't say it flippantly at all. It feels like a home. It feels like a continuation of what I feel like we're doing all week at the Wasmuth Center. So it's lovely to be here and to get to participate. How many of you have been to the Idaho Anne Frank Memorial, or our new building? Great. You don't even need me to stand up here and really tell you about what we do. I guess just really briefly, the Wasmuth Center for Human Rights was originally founded to build the Idaho Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial, and the mission of the center is really education. So we do human rights education, which is very broad for learners of all ages. In fact, as I was just watching the kids, one of our programs that we have started in the last year is actually Compassion Crew. So if you want to continue into the week with your theme of today and you have little ones, it's a program for preschoolers. And so we really do work with learners of all ages. Really in the last year, we, just like you, we have a beautiful new space. And if you haven't been down to our new building, we would really love to invite you. Our parking is not as great as your parking is here. So, we're super, super grateful. Since the memorial opened to the public in 2002, the center has done its work of education sort of wherever we could find a space in the community. And so now that we have our own space, it is really wonderful to be able to invite the community in to us and be a space similar to what you all do here in this beautiful fellowship. I know lots of community groups come here for other things. So we offer programs throughout the week. We really hope to be a space in the community where people can come together, can learn together, can be in conversation together, can be maybe reflecting and thinking, and we hope be inspired to find ways to show up in the world. So whatever that means to you, we want to meet people where they are in their journeys, and we want to encourage, in this time and beyond, it really does take all of us. And so I really, really appreciate the generosity of this group. Invite you to come join us for programs. We have information. I left some out, I think, on the way into coffee after the service. And then just want to leave you with a couple thoughts. In this time, and the things that we are seeing in this day that really challenge a lot of our deeply, deeply held beliefs about what is true and good and how we should show up as humans in the world, I want to leave you all with the idea of courage. So it's another C word to build on your compassion. We are stronger together, and I think of all the spaces where groups like this around our community and beyond are coming together. This is what is going to get us through this time. We draw courage from each other, and while fear may be contagious, I believe that courage is even more contagious. So let's stay in this together, and thank you for all that you do in the community, and I hope that we can continue to walk shoulder to shoulder in this time and beyond. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Christine. We feel really honored to be able to be partners with the Wasmuth Center and the work that you do. And we chose the Wasmuth Center for this month of October because of our monthly theme of compassion, because we believe that compassion really is the foundation of human rights. And as I was chatting with Christine this morning, I remembered that the beautiful stones that border Capitol Boulevard on the outside of the new building that have the values, the words on them of the Wassmuth Center. The Stone of Compassion was sponsored by Idaho's interfaith communities. So we really have invested in that work and are grateful that you are there leading the way with all of us. I invite our ushers to please come forward. Our offering will be gratefully received. As our ushers bring our offering gifts forward, I invite us to join together in the collective blessing of our offering this morning. We bless these gifts so freely given. May generosity always be our companion as we walk the holy path toward ever greater compassion and beauty.
Our reading this morning is from Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt. This is anew. Here's the thing. The year begins anew, even in the worst of times. The leaves will turn and fall, and then they'll grow again. And sometimes we're afraid and we can't know what choice to make to keep anyone safe. Uncertainties a bear. All we can do is seek out sweetness everywhere we may and work to fix what brokenness we find. The good news is we're not in this alone. We'll help each other hope when light seems dim and lift the sparks that darker days reveal. We'll love each other fiercely. In the end, there is no greater work that we can do. We who survive will help each other heal.
Reading the news these days is like running a gauntlet. It feels like an athletic endeavor, in my house anyway. First, I have to warm myself up, maybe like read something fun or sweet with animals to get the dopamine flowing. And then I'm able to dive into the headlines while my heart races and my body tenses, steeling itself against the growing anxiety that threatens to overcome me with every word. In our house, I don't know about yours, but there is often an occasional shouting out of the most egregious headlines. The radical left caused the shutdown. These military speeches were off the rails. Apparently, Portland is a war zone. They've frozen federal funds only in blue states. Federal workers' out-of-office email messages changed without their knowledge. You know them all. And I know you did not come to church to hear the headlines. Yes, we did. Well, you just heard just the bare minimum. Usually then I have to take a walk outside after reading just to clear my head and my heart, breathe fresh air and settle my agitated nervous system, and tend to my broken heart. That broken-heartedness is painful to endure. And yet, as I shared last week, our broken, open hearts help us connect with that deep compassion and grow our capacity for love and belonging. But there is definitely a balance. I don't do it every day, read the news. I take breaks and read memoirs and listen to podcasts that bring me joy and also remind me of my own humanity and values. But as someone who believes it is a spiritual calling to be engaged with the world, with community, to push back against injustice and claw our way toward collective flourishing, I know I cannot ignore the truth of what is happening in our country right now. And I am learning ever more to live with a broken heart. Author Andrew Boyd, in his book Daily Afflictions, The Agony of Being Connected to Everything in the Universe, offers this wisdom. Compassion hurts. When you feel connected to everything, you also feel responsible for everything, and you cannot turn away. Your destiny is bound with the destinies of others. You must either learn to carry the universe or be crushed by it. So you must grow strong enough to love the world, yet empty enough to sit down at the same table with its worst horrors. This is the agony of being connected to everything in the universe. or as our Unitarian Universalist values articulate it, that interconnected web of all existence, of which we are a part. Let's just sit with that for a moment. That, quote, compassion hurts. My spirit says, yes, we cannot turn away. Our destiny is bound with the destiny of others. We must grow strong enough to love the world. And there is another part of me, the part that is scared, the part that doubts, the part that wants to hide, that says, how in the world are we supposed to do that? How do we empty ourselves enough to sit down at the table with the world's worst horrors? I don't have a good answer for this. And perhaps there isn't one good answer, but many. Each of us may have our own unique answer that illuminates a path. Each of us has a role to play, guided by our own values, by our own particular heartbreaks, by our own gifts and talents, by our very own compassion. And true compassion, Christine said it, takes enormous courage. Because true compassion requires the emptying of ourselves to connect to the pain and the heartbreak of others, but also the strength it takes to take action, to do something. True compassion invites us to connect with another's pain and struggle so deeply that we can't rest until they rest. That kind of compassion is the very foundation of community care. I may not be able to directly impact or change some of the world's worst horrors. I cannot stop the National Guard from invading Portland. But I can take care of those affected by them. We as a community of belonging and belovedness are particularly well suited for this kind of compassionate community care. We are providing gathering space and helping feed people. We're supporting immigrant families and trans people with services and funds and connection. We're loving our neighbors, offering them safety and refuge in our homes, whatever spaces we have, should they need it for any reason. We're wearing our rainbows and putting them on our cubicles at work so people know we are with them. We're collecting coats and toiletries and throwing a baby shower for a Ukrainian refugee. We're putting on plays and celebrating our medical professionals. We're singing and chanting our values in the streets and on the Capitol steps, and every little bit of it matters. And there is a paradox of compassion that I struggle with. It's that inherent tension between cultivating compassion for all of humanity and the feelings of rage and frustration and righteousness that come up in me towards those who are causing great harm. I hear a lot of people talk about civility and finding common ground and our braver angels and bridging our divides, noble sentiments. I'm sure it takes a great deal of moral courage and compassion to do all that. But I am not always sure I have that particular kind of compassion in me. And some days I am not totally convinced it's possible. Because here's the problem. I don't experience those in power, those causing harm, cultivating their own compassion and expressing those sentiments. It feels very one-sided. I recently watched the beautiful documentary Heightened Scrutiny, which follows ACLU attorney Chase Strangio as he battles the Supreme Court for transgender adolescents' access to gender-affirming care, and the media landscape that distorts public perception. And we now know the outcome of that case did not come in our favor. But in the film, we meet 12-year-old trans girl Mila, who gives a speech at her New York City school board meeting. Yes, even in New York, they are having debates about bathrooms and pronouns. She gives a speech to the school board standing up for herself and trans kids like her, and she is amazing. She's a spitfire. She is extraordinary. And the film cuts to some members of the school board sitting behind a table on the stage, scrolling through their phones and looking at their laptops, totally ignoring Mila and other families. And then we see young Mila and others calling them out for their disrespect, begging them to pay attention and just listen and look at them, their frustration growing through their tears. Watching that scene felt like a gut punch. I was stunned. If a child brave enough to stand before her school board, some adults don't even have that kind of chutzpah. If kids, for whom this board is responsible for educating and protecting, can't be given just a small amount of respect in that moment, where do we go from there? How can we ever imagine ourselves in a different place as a society? It's getting harder and harder to imagine. Our author and activist Bell Hooks asks, how do we hold people accountable for wrongdoing, and yet at the same time remain in touch with their humanity enough to believe that they're in their capacity to be transformed? I am ever a believer in transformation. I think that is why I do this work of ministry, because something deep inside me lights up at the possibility of hope and transformation, because I have experienced it more than once, because I have seen it happen, and because I need it like air to survive in this world. But dear Bell Hooks, whom I regard as a wise teacher, I don't know how to do that anymore. Believe in someone else's transformation. Clearly, there is yet more transformation awaiting me in my lifetime. Everyone I know who ventures into this tricky territory always ends up quoting Dr. King. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Yes, it is. I can acknowledge that carrying around that burden only hurts the one who carries it. And carrying that burden becomes a roadblock to growing the kind of strength needed to love the world. So here is a middle way I have come to. Instead of giving over our energy, worrying, or even wondering about how to cultivate compassion for those who are actively harming humanity and targeting our beloveds, perhaps we redirect that energy toward cultivating even more compassion toward those very people being targeted. I'm not suggesting that we abandon the idea that we can have compassion for people with whom we disagree, particularly if those people are people we know and love and part of our families. But we don't have to give over precious reserves of our energy to cultivate compassion for tyrants. Instead, I will keep reading the news so as to never forget who it is we're fighting for, and channel my inner rainbow crow whenever possible. I shall listen to the stirrings of compassion singing in my heart and throw them into giving life the shape of justice. We shall let wings set us free to reach the farthest margins of humanity, reaching out our hands emptying ourselves to hear and receive the pain and doubt and uncertainty, offering refuge and sanctuary and all the practical support we can sustain. We shall be the roots, holding close beloved community, cultivating the garden of joy and justice, so our roots of resistance grow deep and strong, nourished by the soil of love. That is how I shall begin to cultivate compassion. I hope you will join me. May it be so. Amen. Our hymn for reflection this morning is our new hymn of the month from our UUA's virtual hymnal. It is on the song sheet that were on your chairs. If those of you are readers of music, the lyrics will also be up on our screen. We sing together and rise and body your spirit, Carry Me by David Burrows. One of the ways we cultivate compassion is by receiving and carrying the joys and sorrows and milestones of our lives, reminding ourselves that we are not in this journey of life alone, but together with beloved community, and that is a blessing. Today we share these joys and sorrows because we missed it last week. A happy anniversary, first anniversary to Deborah Smith and Clay Lyons. And I believe last Sunday, that day is also Deborah Smith's birthday, so happy birthday to Deborah. And Clay, birthday. Amazing. It's easy to remember. Everything's on one day. Birthdays and anniversaries. And we hold in our heart Neil Hudson, whose brother died last week, sending him our love and care in the time of grief. If you are holding someone in your heart this morning, I invite you to speak their name aloud, share it in the chat, into this community of love and care that we might hold them with you. Breathe with me. Fill your body with breath. Breathe with this beloved community, filled with loving kindness. Breathe in compassion. Breathe out compassion. Listen to what is calling you in the silence. I invite you to continue with me in a spirit of prayer and meditation, with this prayer adapted from the Reverend Michelle Collins. Spirit of life and love, ground of being, we witness a world on fire. Headlines scream of cruelty and division, of war and genocide. The earth herself groans under the weight of our carelessness and selfishness. Some days, the suffering feels too vast, the darkness too deep. We are tempted to close our hearts rather than let them break again and again, to choose cynicism over hope, numbness over feeling, despair over the vulnerable acts of compassion and care. Yet here we gather, proof that love persists in every city on every continent. Hearts like ours beat with stubborn compassion. Strangers comfort strangers. Neighbors feed neighbors. People choose justice when injustice would be easier. Remind us that we are part of something larger than our individual capacity to heal. That every act of kindness creates ripples we'll never see. That the light of compassion, however small its flame, joins with countless others to push back the darkness. May we hear the call of love with broken, open hearts, beckoning us to keep singing even in the fiercest storms, holding on to the truths that love is stronger than fear, that justice is more powerful than oppression, that ordinary people choosing extraordinary kindness can and will transform this world. In the name of all that is holy, we pray. Amen. Friends, I invite you to rise as you are able and place your hands over your heart for our closing blessing. When the tumult and the strife grips our lives, when storms and darkness close around us, let us hear the music ringing. Let us feel our inmost truths. Let us sing out love, sing out freedom with fierce compassion, to make tyrants tremble, and hold fast to community and care, to the belovedness that holds us all, always. Blessed are we all. Go in peace.